In this video, I show you why to use a factory and how to create one in Python. And if you are watching this, you probably have the same question as I did. What is the difference between factory, factory method pattern, and abstract factory pattern? So I'll make this video part of a series where I explain all of them. I'll start with factory. Let me show you a common problem in software engineering. Here are two importer classes. One imports XML and one imports JSON. Class document has method import file that takes a file name and based on the extension it creates an XML importer or JSON importer. Finally, it calls the importer execute method. I create a document instance and call import twice. And here is the result. Code like this is very common and you already know that it has two problems. 1. The import file function is responsible for creating objects and using them. And 2. When new import classes are added to the system, the switch code also needs to be updated. Two solid principles are violated in this code. Single responsibility principle and the open-closed principle. I will already tell you that factories are not going to solve the open-closed principle violation, but they will improve the situation. Let me show you how by introducing a factory class. I extract the importer object creation and move it to an importer factory class. Here is the updated code. So, what should happen here? First of all, the document gets a class initializer that takes a factory instance. So the import file method can use it to create an importer. A factory instance is created and passed when creating a document instance. Import file is called twice, and here is the result. The benefits of the factory are 1. The responsibility for creating importer class instances is removed from the document class and isolated in the importer factory. And 2. When new importer classes are added to the system, the switch code is confined to the importer factory class. You can change the switch code without the risk of breaking other code. So what is a factory? A factory is an object that takes the responsibility for creating other objects. Before we move from factories to the factory method pattern, I want to point out a common mistake that developers make with factories. I've worked in projects where factories were made static with the purpose to get easy access to them from anywhere in the code. Let's say that main uses module 1, module 1 uses module 2, and module 2 uses the document class. Look at the document class again. Notice it takes the importer factory as a dependency. So if you want to have access to the factory in the document class, you would have to pass it from main all the way down. That is how dependency injection works. But under time pressure, it could be very tempting to make the factory static so you can use it directly from the document class without having to change code in the in-between modules. The document now has a dependency on the concrete factory class. That means that you cannot use the document class anymore without having a direct link to the factory. Even running unit tests on document might trigger all sorts of unwanted behavior caused by the factory. The technical term for this is coupling. The document class is tightly coupled to the factory. There is an indicator for this problem in the code. Watch out for names like instance. If you see code like this, you are probably looking at the misuse of static factories. Notice that the factory is not passed as a dependency, but accessed through a static instance variable. Factories are great to produce objects as long as you use them in the right way. And what more ways are there? It's time to proceed to the factory method pattern. Check out the next video to see what it is and how it works in Python.